And finally, the final one of today. The breakthrough or the most improved driver? Few to choose from, definitely. Personally, I can't go beyond Charles Leclerc once again because last year he was the Grand Prix winner. But the way he pushed the limits this time out, the way he drove and essentially took an underperforming car to the limit, has to be the most improved one. But we'll start with you for this one, Nithyanand. Who was your breakthrough driver of this season or the most improved one?
Uh, my pick is Lando Norris.
Mhm.
He has scored 98 points, which is for, exactly 98% higher than his points tally last season.
Wow.
And he has scored points in 13 races. He has outqualified his teammates in 10 races. Then,
Goodness.
then if you see his racecraft, he is one of the consistent performer. And in wait a second, in most I think in around 7 to 8 races, he has finished on at least he has gained 1 or 2 places from his starting position. So
Hmm.
it says a lot about his consistency. So like he started off with the podium, which was really pleasing to see. Lando Norris is on the podium. One of the most loud drivers was on the podium.
Exactly.
So it was one of the fantastic moments this season. He actually had consistency until the 17 races. He had, I think, only one DNF and two to three non-point scoring finish. Other than that, he was impeccable throughout the season. He was breathing down his teammates' neck. His teammate has scored 105 compared to Lando Norris 98. So I'm picking Lando Norris.
Hmm. Fair point. Lando was excellent this year. Sundaram, what about you? Who's your pick for the most improved driver this year?
Quite a few drivers, and I'm actually feeling a bit guilty. I'm not picking Perez for any of our awards this year, but I think I'll go with Pierre Gasly this year. Uh, I mean, after his demotion to Toro Rosso or Alpha Tauri, there was a bit of a, feeling if Gasly can really soak in pressure and does he really deserve a top drive? But
Hmm.
the way he's actually performed over the last year and even through this year, he's done exceptionally well. I think he needs that sort of comfort zone or that free feeling to perform without much of pressure, much of comparisons. And he's done exceptionally well at Italy, at Portugal, at Bahrain. I can't really remember how many points he's got this year, but he's done exception. He's done really, really well this year. And the other point being, I think he really likes spreading his wings a bit, and you need to give that to him. Okay, and he's beaten Kvyat 13 is to 4, I think, in quali.
Hmm.
So it goes to show that this guy is building himself. He is building his racecraft, and he is building his image as well. I really don't hope Red Bull go for him again next year or the year after that. I think he would do much better. I think he would flourish in a different setup somewhere at Renault or at a different team. So I would go for Gasly this year.
Like Carlos Sainz, more or less.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a route that's worked before. We've seen certain drivers flourish in the Red Bull system, like a Verstappen or Sebastian Vettel, but certain drivers need that difference. And I think it's excellent that you mentioned Pierre Gasly, the way he drove this year, the way he was very dominant. Standout for sure. But what about you, Kunal? Who would you pick at last as our breakthrough driver of
I
the
would
year?
like to interrupt.
Why not?
Somel, I would like to put one more point on Gasly.
Hmm.
We would love to see the Frenchman replacing a certain Spaniard in a couple of years, don't we?
Ah, definitely, definitely. At a
He
team
can,
called Alpine.
he can. I don't think he can lead Red Bull now. If when Max Verstappen is around, I
Hmm.
don't think anyone can lead. Maybe except Perez.
Exactly.
So I, I think he can go to Renault and become a leader. Maybe his teammate could be either Ocon or Lundgaard or Guan Yu Zhou.
Hmm.
It can be anyone. I feel Perez can lead a team like Renault or even McLaren.
But
So
wouldn't it be a bit funny to see a very experienced Pierre Gasly with 4 or 5 years in Formula One, replacing a young rookie, a young Spanish rookie coming into the team? Not much, just 2 world championships. It's just right in the sport.
It it may
I just got some inside news that Fernando Alonso is going to be participating in the 2040 championship as well with Max Verstappen's kid for his third world title. So I don't think so. He's going to be leaving anytime soon. I just got a text from him right now.
or maybe Pierre Gasly could be Jehan Daruwala's experienced teammate when he makes his debut in Formula One. Who knows?
Fingers
Could happen.
crossed.
But coming to my pick, I'm going to choose Gasly's compatriot, another Frenchman, Esteban Ocon. He was booted out of Racing Point for reasons we all know. He was out of the sport. He almost wouldn't have had a seat. He got the seat with Renault, and I think he struggled in his comeback because new team, lots of cramped races, so your chance to time to recover is lesser. He was up against Daniel Ricciardo, a very, very tough and consistent teammate to sort of go up against. But, he kept chipping into the gap towards the end of the season. We saw he was strong or as strong as Daniel, just that Daniel had has a personality and had performances in the middle part of the season, which sort of just made him shine that much more. And so I would pick Esteban Ocon, and he is up against the mighty Fernando Alonso in 2021. Again, the chosen driver at Renault. So it's going to be great to see how he performs back then. And it's also very heartening for me to see that pretty much all of us have had different choices in this category.
Indeed, that's just how diverse the season was this year. So many big star performers coming in. So much fun. Ah, man, it's going to be a tough couple of months not having Formula One on. But yeah, we'll be coming up with more content on Pits to Podium and the Inside Line Formula One podcast. So this is your place to be. We're coming up with more special videos and features right here and on the Pits to Podium website. But folks, one last time this year before we go, anything else that you'd like to mention about this season? We'll start with you, Kunal, before we go. Uh, anything else before we wrap up? Because it's really been a year that's captured our emotions and played around with it quite a bit, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been a very very different year. I would say great learnings for fans, for teams, for drivers, for the sport. And all I can say is, there were certain elements that created a lot of excitement in the season. And I hope Formula One has taken notice and will try and recreate these, in the seasons to follow when normalcy returns in life. And above all else, it's great that all of us and several drivers, have been safe through the season, despite lots of crashes and COVID-19 infections and the like. So I think I'm grateful for the season we've all had.
What about you, Sundaram? Anything to say?
Yeah, an iconic season, and also a great opportunity for me to reset my entire database because Hamilton's breaking literally every record. So I have a good reference right now. 2020 was when this happened, when that happened. So it's a good reference that I have. But apart from that, yeah, I think kudos to all the drivers, all the teams, with all the tests that we've had to do every second or third day and still come out with a 17 race season. It's incredible, and something that I can look forward for 2021 is someone returning to the sport. I can actually feel a bit more fire inside me because I can see ALO on the screen from next year. So yeah, looking forward to 2021.
Will he have the R tag next to his name? That's the question. Nah, far from it. Two-time world champion Alonso coming back. One of the many reasons to be excited. Nithyanand, what about you? What are you most pumped up about? And what do you have to say about this year as a whole?
like I said, this season was a special. Uh, in Australia, we all thought if Liberty Media can host the F1 Championship 2020, but they did. They came up with a revamped calendar, which consists of 17 races, and they had four triple headers 4 triple headers in Corona. It is
Yeah.
epic. It is epic. Hats off to them, to drivers, to the teams, to media for a successful season. And looking forward to 2021, I have a sneaky feeling that Ferrari will be in the top 3 at least.
Optimistic.
Uh, you, you can, you can call me over ambitious, but Ferrari are are confident that they will come back. They have a good engine next season, because even Binotto told the same on his podcast. Even Charles Leclerc seconded his statement as, I believe Ferrari will be a team to watch out for in the
Hmm.
best of the rest category. we
Well,
all love
let's.
we all love Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso fighting for podium positions, don't we?
I would definitely.
So many big names in the midfield, but what a year 2021 promises to be, folks. It's been a lovely journey on Pits to Podium this season. We're going to have a lot more coming up for you next year. So make sure you're right here. Make sure you subscribe to Pits to Podium, to the Inside Line Formula One podcast, depending on where you're watching or listening to this one. And also to subscribe to Pits to Podium and Marshall's Pit Stop Formula One on Instagram and Twitter. We're going to drop our handles right down below. Should be fun. And we're also going to have the Pits to Podium Grand Prix prediction competition next year as well. So until then, folks, see you. Bye-bye. Good night. It's been a fun year. See you, everyone.
See you. See you.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.